Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is the 19th non-remastered game in the Crash Bandicoot series, taking place right after Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Apparently the Wrath of Cortex and the other games just don't exist, which makes me upset because I quite enjoyed Twinsanity even though it is a buggy mess. This game was expected and I'm pretty happy it exists. After the Sane Trilogy, which was fantastic, there was no doubt that there would be another main series title. Crash is back, baby, and in a similar formula to Crash 2, which in my opinion is the best one. But does it hold up? I would say in a casual sense, yes it does. And I must stress by saying in a casual sense. All your favorite characters are here. Crash, Coco, Cortex, and Tropy, and Brio, Tawna. Wait, Tawna?
Thank you so much. Wait, Tawna? But you're different. You're not from our universe.
Dingodile is playable, so is Cortex? Most of the Crash characters take place in the story, and others are nice little Easter eggs.
Oh my god, look at the fake Crash float.
Especially Spyro, who just shows up everywhere.
Oh my god. Look at the Spyro thing. Oh, okay.
And the story is, I mean, I guess it's alright. I'm not gonna expect much of a Crash Bandicoot story, but it does have a few moments where it seems like it's over and it continues. This makes the level amount 43, and we will come back to that in a minute. There are 4 styles of play in this game. Crash and Coco are the main characters, but you can also play as Tawna, Cortex, or Dingodile, and each have their own playstyle and open up paths for Crash or Coco. You know when these levels will happen because towards the end of a level, you see Crash or Coco wonder what the heck just happened. Which you then get to play as the other characters, see that perspective and how that pathway opened before finishing the same level again as Crash and Coco. Except they aren't the same level. They are slightly harder variants of that level. Tawna, I think, is a bit slower and has a grapple hook, but other than that, she plays very similar to the other Bandicoots. You jump, you spin / kick. Apart from the belly flop turn into a ground pound, she's the exact same. Dingodile is even slower, and instead of a conventional attack, he has a vacuum to vacuum up TNT barrels or just destroy them. His double jump is also different, because instead of doing an actual double jump like all the other characters do, he uses the vacuum and uses it more as a way to hover around. And honestly, I didn't really find this very enjoyable. But it's even worse with Cortex, who uses a gun to turn enemies into platforms, and he has a weird dash thing, and then at the very end he tries to stay afloat and completely ruins the timing and momentum. Playing as Cortex is a chore. Even the gun he uses isn't very accurate, and you gotta be like perfect with it. It's just not good at all. There is something weird about this game. The depth perception to me is a little odd. There is an obvious circle telling you where you need to go, but sometimes where you are and where you're jumping just don't really seem to be correct. It's hard to explain, but if you play it, you can definitely feel it. Other than that, it plays like you would think a Crash game would play. The slide jump works, the spins, the jumps off crates feel a little different, but there's nothing major here. The new gimmick are masks.
Get him off, get him off, get him off.
Crash, who is that?
Lonnie Lowly? If the quantum masks have returned, then...
Hey, Aku, how's it going? Is that a quantum rift?
One can change dimensions, one can make you float and spin sort of like that triple spin move from the old games, one can invert gravity, and one can slow down time. I actually thought it was pretty well executed, but I did hate the one with slowing down time. I'm just not a big fan of it. It allows you to cross Nitro without dying, but it doesn't really seem to last very long. I played this game on a PlayStation 4 Pro and then a PlayStation 5. It looked great, it felt great, and the loading times were much better on the PlayStation 5. I feel like the music isn't as good as old games, and the sounds to me kind of feel flat, but maybe over time it will get better. Okay, we're gonna double back to the missions of content here. There are 43 main levels. There are also 21 flashback levels, which goes back to 1996 when Crash was trained to be Cortex's general, aka before the first game. You unlock these by finding them throughout the levels, but you cannot die before you find them. If you die, you can't pick them up. There are also optional missions with Cortex, Dingodile, and Tawna. And there's the 43 inverted levels, which are the same levels but with a different gimmick to them. So in the grand total, there are 107 total levels. To 100% this game, you still have to get all the gems, crates, the time trials, everything, in all 100% levels. That is an insane amount of content, especially for these later levels, which took me almost an hour to beat just one level. Yeah, this game sure gets the check mark on the content aspect. Is there such a thing as too much content? No? Yes? Man, I'm unsure. But to beat this 100% if you want. I kind of want to do it because I think it'd be fun to see me torture myself. But I just don't know if I'm up to that daunting task, man. Regardless, after all of that, Crash's Return is a pretty fun experience, especially if you play it casual. If you play it for 100%, you're a psychopath. And overall, I would give Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time an 8.4 out of 10.